Welcome back to our show. Our next guest specializes in interpersonal communication. She's a writer for the Huffington Post and a commentator for the New York Times. New York-based communications expert Dr. Michelle Rozen is with us this morning to talk about 3 New Year's resolutions for healthier and closer relationships. We welcome her to Virginia this morning. It is great to see you. Great to meet you.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
It is our pleasure. This is a really important one and probably a resolution that a lot of us have made or is out there for us in our minds, but maybe we haven't committed to it because it's not easy resolving relationships.
No, it's not. It's actually something that almost all of us struggle with. And it's in various circles in our lives. It's at work, it's at home, it's with our kids, our parents, our siblings, our in-laws, our neighbors, and so we really struggle. And so those tools are very important, and it is a time of the year to sort of pledge with ourselves to try to fix those relationships, make them better.
You mentioned quite a few we have different needs from different parties, right? There's different demands on our time. Is there a universal to approaching those relationships, or do you have to handle each of them super differently?
You know, there are a few things that are universal. The first thing that is universal is that we tend to assume a lot about the other person. We know a whole lot about ourselves, very little about the other person. And so we bridge that gap in our minds. If you were mean to me, which you were absolutely not when I came in today, I may assume a whole lot of things about why you did that. I may think that you did it for certain reasons that have nothing to do with reality. And so we assume things about the other person. It's detached from reality. We build a whole reality in our minds about why they did what they did, and we react accordingly. So the first thing to do is to pledge not to assume, to understand that there's a whole lot we don't know about the other person, and to sort of give them the benefit of the doubt.
So tip number 1, don't make the assumptions, no assumptions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The second thing is to try to fix the relationship, the dynamics, and not the person. We get very angry with other people for not answering our expectations, for not being who we want them to be, for not acting how it serves us or how we expect them to. If we look at the dynamics in itself and we say, how can we act in this dynamics, in this interaction differently to get a better result, instead of blaming, accusing. You know, we spend a whole lot of time accusing the other people in our lives for disappointing us, for not answering to our expectations. If we let that go and we say, you know what, I don't have to accuse you, I don't have to blame you, it's not your fault, it's not my fault, there's something in our dynamics that maybe needs to be fine-tuned, something that doesn't work. Let's take a look at it and see how we can make it work better. That's when it works.
So let go of your expectations of that relationship?
The expectations can stay, but you can't accuse the other person of not acting the way you want them to act. You can't blame them. It takes you nowhere. It gets the other person very defensive, and usually there's no progress. And we have that tendency to keep doing things that unfortunately don't work. So let's take an example. Let's think of a kid that misbehaves. And so we get mad at them, and they still misbehave. And so we yell at them, and they still misbehave. So what do? We punish them, and they still don't behave. So we punish them harder, and we yell harder. We do that with our spouses too. We get more and more upset, and then we slam the door, and then we burst out crying, and then we leave the house for a while, and then if it's not working, try something else. You know how sometimes people stand by the elevator, and they hit the button, and the elevator's not coming. So the human tendency is to hit the button again.
Push it again.
Right? And then it's still not coming. So what do people do? They push it harder.
That's right.
And longer. It's in our mind. Take the stairs or wait.
Okay.
Okay? So things that don't work, don't keep doing them stronger and louder and harder. Figure out another way that may actually work.
I was going to say my tact would be have a snack. That's usually where I go. Like, you know, my blood sugar's dropped out and I'm ready for a snack, but I like that. Take the stairs.
Yes.
That's a more active approach. All right, number 3.
Number 3 is to be present. We are very busy. We are busy with social media. We are busy with our kids. We're busy with our careers, home. Just to take the time to be there for the other person, to listen, to be present. Relationships take focus and effort. And when we handle relationships while doing other things, while our mind is distracted, we may act without thinking through what can be accomplished in this relationship, how we can improve it.
And being present allows you too to pick up on those subtleties that need in the
Absolutely.
relationship. Otherwise, if you're buried in this and listening to,
Absolutely.
you're not listening to, and nor are you really engaged here either.
Absolutely. And you may tend to be more impulsive also when you're not focused. And impulsivity and relationships are not very good friends.
Oil and water.
Yes.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Great insights. Loved having you here. For more information on this topic, we'll post a link on our show website later today, WTVR.com/VTM.